His hair was passing from pepper into salt. There were many minute wrinkles on the hollows between his eyes and the fresh crimson of his cheeks, and the eyes were sad. They were very sad. Had he stood erect and looked perpendicularly down, he would have perceived not his slippers, but a protuberant button of the dressing-gown. Understand me, I conceal nothing. I admit the figures written in the measurement book of his tailor. He was 50. Yet, like most men of 50, he was still very young, and like most bachelors of 50, he was rather helpless. He was quite sure that he had not had the best of luck. If he had excavated his soul, he would have discovered somewhere in its deeps a wistful, appealing desire to be taken care of, to be sheltered from the inconveniences and harshness of the world. But he would not have admitted the discovery. A bachelor of 50 cannot be expected to admit even that he resembles a girl of 19. Nevertheless, it is a strange fact that the resemblance between the heart of an experienced, adventurous bachelor of 50 and the simple heart of a girl of 19 is stronger than girls of 19 imagine, especially when the bachelor of 50 is sitting solitary and unfriended at 2 o'clock in the night in the forlorn atmosphere of a house that has outlived its hopes. Bachelors of 50 alone will comprehend me. It has never been decided what young girls do meditate upon when they meditate. Young girls themselves cannot decide. As a rule, the lonely fancies of middle-aged bachelors are scarcely less amenable to definition. But the case of the inhabitant of the puce dressing-gown was an exception to the rule. He knew, and he could have said precisely what he was thinking about. In that sad hour and place, his melancholy thoughts were centred upon the resplendent, unique success in life of a gifted and glorious being known to nations and newspapers as Priam Fal. Riches and renown. In the days when the new gallery was new, a picture signed by the unknown name of Priam Fal was exhibited there, and aroused such terrific interest that for several months no conversation among cultured persons was regarded as complete without some reference to it. That the artist was a very great painter indeed was admitted by everyone. The only question which cultured persons felt it their duty to settle was whether he was the greatest painter that ever lived, or merely the greatest painter since Velasquez. Cultured persons might have continued to discuss that nice point to the present hour, had it not leaked out that the picture had been refused by the Royal Academy. The culture of London then at once healed up its strife and combined to fall on the Royal Academy as an institution which had no right to exist. The affair even got into Parliament, and occupied 3 minutes of the imperial legislature. Useless for the Royal Academy to argue that it had overlooked the canvas, for its dimensions were 7 feet by 5. It represented a policeman, a simple policeman, life-size, and it was not merely the most striking portrait imaginable, but the first appearance of the policeman in great art. Criminals, one heard, instinctively fled before it. No, the Royal Academy really could not argue that the work had been overlooked. And in truth, the Royal Academy did not argue accidental negligence. It did not argue about its own right to exist. It did not argue at all. It blandly went on existing, and taking about £150 a day in shillings at its polished turnstiles. No details are obtainable concerning Priam Fal, whose address was Poste Restante, St. Martin's-le-Grand. Various collectors, animated by deep faith in their own judgment and a sincere desire to encourage British art, were anxious to purchase the picture for a few pounds, and these enthusiasts were astonished and pained to learn that Priam Fal had marked a figure of £1,000, the price of a rare postage stamp. In consequence, the picture was not sold, and after an enterprising journal had unsuccessfully offered a reward for the identification of the portrayed policeman, the matter went gently to sleep, while the public employed its annual holiday as usual in discussing the big gooseberry of matrimonial relations. Everyone naturally expected that in the following year the mysterious Priam Fal would, in accordance with the universal rule for a successful career in British art, contribute another portrait of another policeman to the new gallery, and so on for about 20 years, at the end of which period England would have learnt to recognise him as its favourite painter of policemen. But Priam Fal contributed nothing to the new gallery. He had apparently forgotten the new gallery, which was considered to be ungracious, if not ungrateful, on his part. Instead, he adorned